Yo guys, what is up? It's Teach here, coming at you again with another video over on the center on Ark Survival Ascended, and I wanted to show you the best locations on this map that you can get a hold of a ridiculous number of silica pearls. Yes, this is kind of one, but I'm going to show you some of the best locations in when it's the easiest, whether it's the hardest, and where you can actually get the most pearls. And it's a little bit shocking what you might think. We're going to go ahead and actually start out in the easiest location to get pearls. Now, pearls can be found in a few different ways, but my favorite spot to go, especially early and mid game, to get quite a few pearls is to go over to Lava Island inside of the lakes. Now, if you haven't been over to the lakes on Lava Island or Magma Island or whatever you want to call it, right, there are actually a significant number of pearls inside of these lakes. Now, on all of the actual locations over here, you can go over and get inside of these things, and they're a little bit difficult to find, but there are a ton of pearls in these lakes. Now, they will be, you can see that this is what they look like. I can actually hide the foliage, and that might be the actual play right now. Let's go ahead and go with no instance foliage and see if we can get that, and then grass dot enable 0, show instance grass. There we go. Okay, so really it's going to go away too. We'll go ahead and bring it back with the foliage. But anyways, so if you hide the grass, it makes it quite a bit easier to see. But you can see there's a bunch of the only thing you have to worry about is the actual piranhas inside of something like this. But if you were to bring to any of these, there are a bunch of pearls, and I'll show you what I mean. Let's go ahead and destroy wild dinos. Destroy wild dinos, and I'm gonna go ahead and spawn in a boom anglerfish right here. And with the anglerfish, I'm just going to swim inside of these little mini lakes for a couple of seconds. And it's very difficult to spot all of the pearls in this thing, but they are all over the place. Once you actually find them, it'll make a lot more sense. You can see what I mean. They're very difficult to see, but when you end up getting a couple of spots, you can get quite a few of them. So here's a little cluster of them over here as well. 187, and I usually just swim around for a little bit until I get a bunch of pearls, and I'm not getting any more pearls per hit. And obviously we're getting, so anglerfish is the best way to go. Just use a cryopod and actually angler around, and you can see that I'm still gathering some, even though I thought I swam over here before, but clearly I didn't. But if you hide the grass, it makes it a little bit easier to spot them. But again, that's up to you if you do that or not. I don't like going into first person mode when it's a little bit deeper like this, but you can see that sometimes that might be useful, just due to the fact, okay, lag spike, hello. If you went to the first person mode, it might be a little bit easier to see some of the spots in this map, but not super huge. So we've been doing this for what, less than a minute now. Here's a couple more little nodes over here. I think I might see some around here. There we go. I'm getting a few extras, and some are really, like I'm saying, they're really hard to see, but we have not actually tried very hard to do this. And by the way, yes, this is a high level one, but you're not getting that much more than you would be getting on any other fish. It's just a little bit more, but that's what you want. There's 2,000 silica pearls right there, so that is on this first one. I'm not even going to bother to keep this guy. I'm just going to go ahead and go to the next pond, but I'm proving the point, right? Because you can go into each one of these ponds, and there are silica pearls in all of them. You just have to find the actual location because they're harder to spot, right? So like you can still see them there on the bottom side, and you can come away with Lava Island with a few thousand pearls if you just go inside of those lakes. Now, there are a few other smaller lakes, and you can actually hit up just by hitting the map over on like the different sections, right? In order to go to them, I usually just open up my map and I'll fly above the small lakes that are nearby, and you can just go inside of them. Really? Why am I missing it, huh? Okay, I feel like I got duped here. Where is it? There we go. Okay. So we're looking just for the small lakes. There's one. All right, so all of these, again, are going to have silica pearls inside of them. Just hard to find and hard to spot. So that's why I usually just do an angler and sweep in circles for a little while. And they are just difficult to see. But again, you get the point, right? So all of the lakes is what we're looking for. So once you get all of those, that is a few thousand silica pearls that you can get a hold of real quick. And then the next kind of spot that we're going to be looking for is actually going to the rivers. Now, the rivers are in the middle of the map. You can see them kind of snaking through the middle. And what you can do is you can start at the bottom of one of these rivers, and that's the one we're at right now, actually. You can see it right here. You can go ahead and hop on an anglerfish and hit the bottom of this little river up. Go ahead and spawn another angler, just because now the reason it's a high level is more for the actual not necessarily for the gathering of pearls, but just so I don't have to recover stamina. But if you get to the deeper section of this area, not the one we're in right now, but just a little bit deeper, it'll make sense when we get there. You'll start seeing pearls on the bottom, and that makes it a lot easier. Here's where we get a little bit deeper. So once you go to the deeper section, if you start swinging around, you will end up seeing pearls. There's some right there, and it's hard to see them, but this is a very good location to get them because it's a little bit, there we go. Okay, now I'm starting to see them now. So you can see there's 189. There was one right there that we just missed. And you can get them all just by going to the deeper sections of the river. It's a lot safer than some of the other zones, and it is also useful just because you can kind of swim this entire section and get a good chunk without having to try too hard. Again, I would recommend you're very careful about these kinds of spots because people will be looking and trying to find you. There's a pearl node. Why didn't I get that? Okay, thank you. There's another one. Thank you. 124. But you can kind of like troll the bottom of this river and get a whole bunch of silica pearls, right? So they are a little bit easier to see than rocks because they have a little bit of a shine to them, whereas the rocks do not have a shine to them. But the point is that you can go up and down these rivers in the deeper sections, not in the non-deeper sections, but in the deeper sections you can find silica pearls. So see how we've gone back up to like a less deep section? We're not going to have any right here. Oh, I was a little bit wrong. So it seems like there's still some here, but you can hit them up and just keep going up this river. And but in the super shallow sections, wow, that's hard to say. You can just not really find any. But once you get back into the deeper sections of the river, you will find some more silica pearls. You just have to keep swimming around the bottom. So again, that's all you have to do in order to find a good chunk of silica pearls. And we're already got another 1,000 silica pearls, right? So there's almost 3,000 that we're sitting at right now. And I can't complain about that. So let's go ahead and go to the third section. Now, this is one that's much more difficult to get to, but it is in the deeper ocean sections. Now, this has by far the most pearls that you can possibly get inside of the game. You can see, I'll show you, right? So there's a bunch. On the bottom of the deep ocean, there are a ton of pearls. They're just difficult to spot sometimes because they look just like the rocks. See how like there's a lot of rocks right there that don't look like, or even these, right? They look like they might be pearls. You actually find pearls in large sections. So you just have to actually zoom around the bottom of the ocean until you find like chunks of pearls. See this like little outcropping right here? You can get quite a few. And again, I'll just spawn another anglerfish and bring this guy in and show you what I mean by that. But you don't even need to sprint because there's so many of these that are clustered right next to each other. You can kind of just keep swimming and get a whole chunk of these things. And yep. And they will be all up and around the rocks, so keep that in mind. They, for some reason, sometimes the spawns on this map will spawn the pearls inside of rocks, which really, really sucks because I think that's what's actually going on because a lot of the map, they won't be exposed because the bottom of the deep ocean is supposed to have a ton of silica pearls. But because of the fact that you don't actually see them all, I think a lot of them are actually spawning underneath rocks because I've actually gone through some of the rocky sections and gotten really lucky and just hit a whole bunch of them without realizing they're there because like you can't see them, but sometimes you'll accidentally harvest them from the rocks themselves. Now, I think that they're going to work on fixing that, but we'll see. But just that one section, there's 1,400 silica pearls. So yeah, not too shabby. So you can go to the deep ocean, and the deep ocean, just so you can see, is that blue section. But if you swim up and down the 90 marker, that is a really strong way to find a bunch of silica pearls. So that is one of the best way to get it. Now, it is difficult because sometimes you have larger creatures in that zone, but it is a little bit, it's definitely by far the most pearls that you can get by going up and down that 90. Now, the last thing that you can do, there are a ton of pearls inside of the inland ocean. Now, the reason I say that is because on the bottom of this, there are a bunch of pearls. Now, the negative thing is when you go inside of this location, there are a ton of the new fish that will kill you, the whatever the X is. I don't know how to properly say the name. I don't think anyone does. But they will destroy an anglerfish. So unless you have some sort of protection and cover, this is a very dangerous place to actually try and get a whole bunch of pearls, just due to the fact that those fish will just swarm you and there's not much you can do. But if you are able to survive them, or if you have a buddy that's going around like on a Moza or something like that and just cleaning it out, this is probably the quickest way to get like 10k pearls, because all you have to do is just turn off the grass foliage like I have done and hunt the bottom of the map in order to locate the most pearls. Now, if you do it at night, it can be sometimes easier to see because the pearls glow a little bit more at night, but you don't necessarily always get a glow out of them. So that's what kind of sucks, because they changed that inside of the Ark Survival Ascended. So pearls can be quite a bit more difficult to find. Yeah, but there are a ton of locations. You just do circles and mini circles on this, and you'll find a whole bunch of pearls on the bottom. Now, just like I said, it's difficult to find, but because there's no metal and other nodes on the bottom of this little mini ocean, or whatever you want to call it, it can be easier to spot the pearls when you do find them in the clusters of pearls that do exist. So there's some more. Yeah, we're starting to run into them again, but they usually spawn in little like nodes of like, I don't know, 5 or 6, and then that's probably the best way to do it. You'll see them from a little bit of a distance because they've got a little bit of shine when you're on the bottom, and you can get quite a bit of a chunk of them. But yep, pretty easy. Sorry, I had to cough there, but you can just troll the bottom. Now, the only negative thing is this angler will not outrun the X fish or the Zine. I'm not going to try and say it. You know the fish I'm talking about. But you will get a ton of pearls from this location. I've got, what, 1,200, and I haven't been searching for very long, but yeah, not too shabby. So, obviously, as you can see, there's 5,000 pearls right there. Not a shabby little thing for less than, what, 11, 12 minutes in order to actually do this. Can't complain. So you just swim on this entire section down here, and you'll find a ton of pearls. So anyways, hopefully this video helps you out, and if you don't mind, smack that like button, leave a comment below for the algorithm, and then consider subbing to the channel. And if there's anything else you'd like to see, just go ahead and let me know in the comment section below. All right, teach.